Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pay Per View, the monthly podcast whenever AEW have a pay per view, hosted by myself, Kallum, and my co-host Bex. Hi, Bex.
Hello. Hello, how's it going?
Um, we are here to talk about Full Gear, a show that AEW put on.
It definitely happened.
I I wasn't the biggest fan of this show, but there's always good quality wrestling, and there's
Yeah,
lots to talk about in terms of stories that may
that's
or may
true.
not be working in AEW. Um, yeah, so we neither of us, we've just talked about this, neither of us watched the pre-show. Um,
Look, I looked at the card for the pre-show, um, looked at where I was hanging out with my friends making D&D characters, and went, one of these looks more fun than the other. And therefore, I simply didn't watch the pre-show.
that's a wise thing to do. The amount of times that pay-per-views this year have been when I'm at D&D has
Yeah.
been annoying because I play D&D on a Monday and
hmm
somehow I've still managed to be at pay-per-views like All In was like,
Yes.
this is the one Saturday we've been invited round. I'm like, for fuck's sake, I have to
Why
watch
have
this
we done
again
this?
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So I didn't watch the pre-show because I bought the pay-per-view on Amazon Prime. I know bad Callums don't use Amazon, but I didn't
hmm
have my Fight subscription up, so I didn't get the cheaper price. I was like,
hmm
oh, what's the cheapest place I can get the pay-per-view? I was
Sure.
like, oh, it's 14 quid on Amazon. That's easy, attainable. It's not on a stupid app that doesn't work.
Yep.
ppv.com. Um, so I was like, okay, I'll just buy this, see how it is. Because I know that the last pay per view, had a really bad time on Amazon. I was like, well, they probably put
yeah.
more work into it. And if it's bad, I'll get a refund from Tony Khan. Um,
You can afford it, it's fine.
he did it for the last one. So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
I watched it, but they had like the 0 hour as part of the pay per view. But
Oh,
the
okay.
0 hour is different to the tailgate brawl.
Yes, the 0 hour is just like the talking heads and like the promos and stuff.
So
Which, like,
so
sure.
are they happening at the same time?
Yes, they air at the same time. Uh, Ostensibly, I think the reason for this is they are contractually obligated to provide TBS and
Collision.
TNT with
Yeah.
4 hours of wrestling TV every week. So they put the tailgate brawl on TV to fill that quota rather than having to like do a 4 hour dynamite on pay-per-view weeks.
And then there's a 0 hour.
Yeah,
So the 0 hour is being presented while the tailgate brawl is happening in the
it's
background.
happening. Yeah. I saw none of the 0 hour apart from the little clips that I needed to see, and by that I mean when Tekla was on screen. That was all I needed. She looked great. She thanked Renee for saying she had a twisted mind. That's the only information I need from the 0 hour.
Yeah, I didn't actually watch the 0 hour. I ended up I ended up tuning in because I was going to go to bed. I was like, oh, I'll watch it tomorrow morning, and I couldn't sleep, so I went, okay, I'll watch the pay per view. And they were already halfway through the first match,
Yep.
so I I watched it from the first match, and I was like, oh well, this is like it did last time. The
Yep.
end of the tailgate brawl was directly into the pay per view. Oh, I'll go
hmm
back and watch it because I assumed that the pay per view I paid for has it, and it doesn't. It has the
As a
0 hour. So I was like, what the hell's going on, Tony? Um,
yeah. I feel like this is not uniquely, but probably more of an issue for international folks who don't get it on their TVs.
that that is legit the problem. Like the way
Yeah.
to watch AEW in the UK is through Fight, which is now called
Filler.
Thriller, which doesn't make any sense and is a bad name.
Yes. It's
Um,
whatever. However, they
uh,
do very good cheap deals on the pay-per-views, so I can't
cheap deals on
complain
pay per
too
views.
much.
Yeah, and you can get double packs, and you can just buy a
I
subscription
paid
to AEW.
£23 for this and for World's End. And quite frankly, even if I don't enjoy either of them, I can't really complain for the amount of wrestling I'm getting for that.
And the subscription also comes with all the previous pay-per-views. I think like there's a time where like they come
Yeah,
into the
they
subscription,
elapse.
which it's fun because I still haven't watched the first ever AEW show before it was AEW. So
Oh, it's fun.
um,
I got
right,
I don't know where it is. Let me see if I can find it. Probably not. No, that's Mox. I have the book.
oh, the book. That's
Yeah,
good.
it's interesting. I've been digging into it here and there. It's very fun. I also got Mox's autobiography, which I've been reading. That's great. That's just me hanging out with my friend Mox. He will occasionally be like, "Here's an album I like. Here's how I make a sandwich." Both
I
of them are
can't.
correct.
I can't wait to watch you also have a match where you eat your opponent for half of it, and not in the sexy way.
No, just
Uh,
biting for no
just
reason.
biting, getting a fork out, having a little bit of a nibble.
Beautiful.
Um, so the main card of this show technically
Mhm.
starts with the CMLL Trios Tag Team Championships for the team of El Sky Team versus the Doncaster family. And
Yeah.
according to Wikipedia, the El Sky team is Mystico,
Mhm.
Mascara Dorada, and Neon. Uh,
Yes.
with
All very good
the
wrestlers. A very solid little team. Not their fault that they have a weird name. That's fine.
and then the Doncaster family of Okada, Takeshita, and Hechicero. Um,
Yes.
it makes sense now that this match blew over to the pay per view because
Mhm.
putting Okada and Konosuke Takeshita on the pre-show is effing wild.
Kind of crazy, yeah.
Um, so I only caught the end of this, and it was mostly
Well, it was good. It was a good match. I will say the funny part of this match is, hey, I'm gonna be so real with you. Okada was not on that pre-show. The pay-per-view opened with Okada's music hitting,
I have heard about this. They
and
write
that's unserious. That is funny. I'll give them that.
the storyline is that he's got travel issues, so can't
Uh-huh.
make it, or has
Yep.
travel issues, and
Yeah.
is just fucking with Takeshita. And then
Yes.
also Mystico got took out in the opening of the match.
Yeah.
So Mystico's backstage for half of it. So it's just a 2-on-2 tag match for the trios belt.
Yeah. Which is very funny, actually. I will give them that. That's a funny bit. I enjoy it.
Um, and we got a lot of Okada just hitting Takeshita with his moves.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, this was just a vehicle to set up Okada and Takeshita hate being around each other, which, like, yeah, they sure do.
It's a great story. We love it. We love
Yeah.
to see it. Um,
Look,
yeah,
could I have done without it on the pay-per-view? Sure. But like you say, putting Okada and Takeshita on the pre-show is wild work, so I understand why it ran over.
yeah. I just needed Tony to not do this immediately. I needed him not to
Yeah.
go. I've got a really good idea, guys.
Let's do it twice in a row.
Let's do it twice in a row.
Yeah.
Um,
It does
yeah.
work. I do really like it, but I think if you do it every pay-per-view, it'll get old. So, two,
Don't
fine.
do it. Don't
But
do
if
it
we
again,
open
Tony.
World's End like this, I'm gonna be like, okay, we gotta calm down.
Calm down. Calm down. So that takes us on to the real start of the pay per view, which was the match between Pac and Darby Allin.
Yes.
Um, Pac is back, and he starts to look a
Yep.
little bit more like Pac again. Thank God.
Hell yeah. I know, it was starting to spook me. Between that and Juice Robinson coming back clean shaven, I was like, I need you all to stop.
They just need
You're
beards.
stressing me out.
It's just a fact of life.
Yeah. I like this one. I thought this was good. I'm not huge on like Darby Allin generally. Um, but if there's one thing that man's gonna do, it's sell like he's dead and take the craziest bumps you've ever seen in your life, which all happened here. Great.
Story of this match is Pac's like, well, this guy can't wrestle. He's a death to match idiot. I'll just
Mhm.
out wrestle him. And then immediately Darby's like, I can wrestle. I've just not been let to because I had to be Sting's personal assistant for 2 years. Um, and then Pac going, well, fuck. I guess I'll just make him dead. So
Yep.
lifts him up and throws him everything.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, whatever you think about him, it never ever gets old seeing people just throw Darby into things. I'm like, beautiful. Yep, do it again. Pick him up. Chuck him again.
It was an absolutely insane spot, and this happened quite a few times in the pay per view. That those commentary tables looked lethal.
Yeah.
There was a drop kick from Darby onto Pac, who was on a seat outside, and I thought Pac had died because
Yeah.
it looks like his head hits the corner of the Spanish announce
Genuinely
table.
looks like he's dead.
I don't understand it.
I
I
know.
don't get it.
I
Dangerous,
don't
dangerous
understand
work.
them. They're all so scary.
But Pac ultimately gets the win with a little bit of heel shenanigans.
Yes.
Um,
I think that's fine. Especially with like Darby beats Mox. So Pac being able to beat Darby is like, oh, oh buddy,
this is
you
all,
don't have it anymore.
this is all part of the Mox end of Mox storyline that we're
Yeah.
clearly going into, and that's what makes the C2 really exciting. That
Mm-hmm.
Mox is in the C2 against Claudio. It's like,
Oh, and
oh
so soon. It's on
yeah,
Wednesday. Crazy.
it,
I really
fun
expected that to be the
times.
league final, but you know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I assume that as well. Maybe they'll give Mox the win here so that they can have a final between the two of them where Claudio just knocks his head off. So it's a bigger moment. I
Yeah.
don't know. But we
We'll
don't talk
see.
about the weekly television
No.
because we've got too much things to do. Um,
I inevitably will anyway, because I'm me, but we generally don't.
we don't because we don't have enough time in the week to talk about 2 episodes of television in our very busy spectrals. Bex was just telling me before the show her awful, her absolutely atrocious December schedule.
I've taken it too
Living the
far.
life of a wrestler.
Yeah, without doing any of the wrestling. I'm heading in terms of wrestling shows, I'm heading Eve, Rev Pro, and Dynamite in Manchester. But in amongst all of that, I'm also traveling for like work and meeting friends, and it's like, I accidentally really overbooked myself.
I cancelled
But
my plans for December, and
hey, I
that's
also passed my wrestling assessment training, so now they're like, you can come to training up to 6 times a week, and I'm like, I can't do that. That's so many times. However, you know,
that's exciting.
yeah, it's
Speaking
alright.
of exciting, the women's had a tag thing.
They had a tag match, and look, was it very clearly a "Oh, we've only got one women's match on the card. We got to get some other women here." Yes, absolutely, it was. But you know, it was fine. I don't love four-way tag matches like this. I think the rules get very confusing. Everyone's confused on who is legal and what team is legal and what's going on. So that kind of hurts it a little bit. But the like premise of the winners getting to choose a stipulation for their semi-finals in the tag tourney is fun. I enjoy that at least. That's something. But I just
I
don't
would have
understand why we
yeah,
didn't just put a semi-final match on the card.
exactly. Just put a semi card. That would have. This
Yeah.
gets more women on the card. They get a pay per view pay, but
Yeah.
this match was not fun. It,
Yeah.
it, it
I had fun because I like to see women do things. But yes.
yeah, I love these characters. I like these wrestlers. I like all of them. But the match was constructed in a way I was like, oh, it's not great. I
A
also
lot's happening for no reason. Yeah.
I hate 4-way or 3-way tag matches where there's only 2 legal teams. I know
Yeah.
it's more
All the teams
difficult
should
to
just
book.
be legal.
Yeah,
Like, just make them all legal. Just if you're gonna have it be a chaotic mess anyway, just lean in. Like,
do it tornado or do it eliminator style.
yeah,
Those are my 2 solutions. I just and every company does it. I get it. Tornadoes are difficult to book, and actually they're more annoying to watch. But this just didn't really fit together very well.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. You get a lot of spots where it's confusing, probably for the wrestlers, probably also for the audience. Like, you just don't know what. If I'm watching it and I'm like, I don't know who's legal, I can't get invested because I'm like, I don't know if this pinfall's going to work because I simply don't know if you're legal for this.
we do get to talk about the new entrance for Tony and Mina, which is the best thing
They were
ever.
so They're so silly. They're so silly. They're doing a choreographed dance. Tony has no idea what she's doing, but she's doing it with charisma, and that's what's important. And they're just delightful. I'm very excited for them.
They're
I
getting
really
better at it.
Yeah, it's getting better. Mina, sweetie, this isn't about you. Actually, you're a perfectly fine dancer. This is about Tony, and that's fine. That's my baby girl. She can do no wrong. It's just very funny to watch. And I really had them down as the winners of the tag tourney, but we'll see. I'm doubting myself a little now.
Yeah, they unless we're going into a face final, I feel
Yeah.
like there's a possibility that they lose this match.
Yeah. Well, especially like, hey, like, okay, so Tony and Mina pick up the win here, which like fairly expected. I expected it to be either them or Megan or Marina to win because that was very clearly the match with the most heat that needed the stipulation. Um, but I expected Megan Marina to win here for Tony and Mina to win their semi-finals. Tony and Mina winning here and setting the stipulation makes me think, ooh, are they about to lose this semi-final? Which would be interesting if so. I mean, I'm not against it.
And again, not to talk about TV, but it does set up that Mox post breakup with the Death Raiders might join the Tony Storm universe.
I can't. I can't. So, so on having them on Dynamite. Was it Dynamite? Or
Yeah, it
was
was
it the
Dynamite.
Collision? Yeah.
It was Dynamite.
Having them on the Dynamite. Mox has just had a match. Everything's like fine. He's about to leave the ring, and Tony's music hits, and I have never felt adrenaline like it in my life. I'm like, why is she here? Why is she here? And then she cuts a promo that's ostensibly challenging Marina for this stipulation semi-final match, but is mostly just kind of her ragging on Mox. He's kind of just catching strays for being in the ring, and I think it's so beautiful. Mox spends the whole time fighting for his life not to laugh at her. Beautiful. I need the death match immediately. Like, put it on the World's End card, and I will never say a bad word about Tony Khan again.
Yeah.
So
Or
delightful.
the
But
finals,
yeah,
yeah, it'll probably be the finals on the on. I hope the finals are fucking on the World's End card.
I know.
Um,
I have a feeling they might just whack them on TV and we'll just go, oh, okay. But we'll see. Um, yeah, I mean, the match was, the girls did what they could with the format they were given, which isn't a format I care for. Um, the winner is like both not surprising to me, but also a little surprising to me. But I figured that was certainly the semi-final match that needed the stipulation.
I will say once again, Harley Cameron looked amazing in this match.
She's really doing great. That spot where she and Tony were exchanging pinfalls, and she like genuinely looked believable that she might pin Tony, and I was like, oh my god.
You know what my big thought of that moment was? This should have been what happened in the Statlander match where she won the
Yeah,
belt.
the back and
The,
forth
the
pinfalls.
back and forthness of it. I was like, this is great.
Yeah,
They did it for the title. Anyway,
yeah.
um,
But yeah, there was a moment where I was like, oh my god, are they going to have Harley pin Tony? That's crazy. So
for an AEW roster that loves a little bit of cosplay, I'm
yes,
surprised that Full
lack of
Gear, presented
DC.
by DC, the only
Yeah,
match with anyone dressed up was this one.
I know. And it was Megan and Penelope who have been doing it for a while now anyway. Like, could we not have like thrown something together, girls? Like, could no one else have
Bunch of
thrown
these,
something together?
a bunch of these characters are in the crossover event comic book.
Like, literally. I don't understand. Like, where was the panache? Where was the flair? What?
I did also go through it and realize that actually a lot of the people who love cosplaying were off. So like
Yeah,
we get it to into the main event, but like Swerve wasn't about. Swerve loves a little bit of. He's been dressing up as DC characters for the last two
he's been Mr.
pay-per-views.
Terrific.
God.
However, it's
Anyway,
okay. Megan
it's
and
okay.
Penelope had us at least, but like Marina would have
This
killed
was
you to
no
like pop on
Shazam
some
Fury
cat
of the
ears,
Gods.
like pop some cat ears from Marina Shafir and call her Catwoman, and I would have given you it. Like,
Just give her a Bane cosplay.
right? Like,
Um,
yeah, it was
Holly
fine.
Cameron.
I was glad to see all the women, but this was again a bit of booking malpractice. Give these women time on the pay-per-view cards.
Yes, give them something. Take a match off this card and put 2 women's matches of the
Yeah,
tag semi-finals on this pay-per-view. It would have been
yeah,
fine. Anyway, we'll move on to talk about. I think this was my match of the night, despite the result.
fair.
FTR versus Brodido for the tag team championships. We haven't seen FTR be this good in a while,
Yeah,
but mostly because Adam Copeland wasn't there, and um,
yeah,
Brodido have been electric. They are amazing, and yes, they lost the belts here, but
yeah.
FTR made them look like $1 million doing it.
And I'm glad to hear, like, obviously in the post sort of pay-per-view lull, they made the point of like they are staying together as a tag team, which I'm glad to hear. Like, I really like Brodido. I think it's been really good for both of them. Um, and I would happily see them challenge again, have another little run with these belts. Like, yeah, I'm glad to have them in the tag division, which has been weak for quite a while.
They've changed the face of the tag team
Yeah.
division in AEW. They've made it exciting. They've brought fans in that division. They
Yeah.
seem both happy to be in that position, and it's a good
Which is
position for them.
great.
Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to see them put Brody King in the C2 as much as I wish they did.
I also wish they did because I think he's a very good wrestler. But yeah, at this stage, they're going to keep him in this tag scene, and I think that's great. Like, he's very clearly good there. Bandito is going from strength to strength, like, truly. So, yeah, I was sad about the result of this one. Um, I'm also sad about the result of this one because I'm very scared it leads to Cope Christian return and we
oh,
get them get the titles.
it will,
It
but
will, and I'll be sad about that. But if nothing else, we have Rodito, and they've been wonderful. So they looked great in this match. Was it my match of the night? I don't think so, but I did enjoy it a lot.
I just think this was full of really amazing spots where you didn't know what
It
was going to
was,
happen. Like
yeah,
I mean, even though Brodido were constantly on the back foot because FTR are FTR, um,
yes,
there was amazing reversals of like there's a Doomsday Machine where where Bandido reverses the Doomsday Machine mid-air, and like
it's so cool.
the man.
Bandito, like he genuinely might be maybe my wrestler of the year. Like the way he's just come out swinging has been incredible.
Yeah,
I've really
um,
liked his work this year.
yeah, really, really, really great. And I think like they went down in like we know we're losing this, but you're
Yeah,
gonna have to fucking kill us to do it because so yeah, I think it put them over really strong despite
yeah,
clearly not winning the belt. I was like, yeah,
yeah,
this is
they
great.
lost really strong in a way that I really enjoyed. So I can't be too mad.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, I think this is also where my attention span was the I think at my highest. It's
Yeah.
early enough in the show that I'm like fully in and I'm not falling asleep. I'm like, this is the match I was like, I'm watching every moment of this going, fantastic
Mhm.
match. Um, sure, there was a weird pre-video that didn't make any sense to anyone who hasn't watched a really specific film that the commentators didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
It was just there. And you're like, okay,
Yeah.
and what?
Sure.
Sure? What? I don't understand. So okay, Stokely, good for you, son.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have fun. Whatever you want.
Um, yeah. So next we move on to the Casino Gauntlet match to determine the
Yeah.
AEW Bobby Lashley Championship.
And yet.
Well, he's still winning it. It's still It's against the person who won it is the only person Bobby Lashley will agree to wrestle.
That is true.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it was a casino gauntlet. It was fine. Um, the frankly, my favorite part of this match was the comedy of them doing the entrances and them hitting 3 Death Riders in a row, and it made me laugh so much. I'm like, Death Rider Gauntlet, like, it's it's all them.
The moment that the Gates of Agony had taken out Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, this match got
Yeah.
really fun. And I
Yeah,
love Shelton Benjamin. But but
but, you know
the problem is, I don't know who's to blame. It could be Bobby, it could be Tony Khan, it could be a combination of the two. But
Mhm.
whatever is going on with the Hurt Syndicate, it's a mess and it's boring to watch. For the last 6
Yeah,
months, they've been feuding with
yeah,
Vic and his boys
and
get a little bit of shine and then you forget what their names are.
yeah.
Um,
No, absolutely. Yeah, like, look, it's generally very hard to make me care about men wrestling at the best of times. It really is. But when you then book a feud that runs for 6 months and I don't care about any of it, I'm like, sure, man, put the bell on any of them. I don't care.
Ricochet's really entertaining and he
Yeah,
sells like no one else. And he also
mhm.
moves like a few other
He's
people.
great.
But this match got really great when like you had the Death Riders come in and is telling the story of the Death Riders. You've got Daddy Magic coming out to fight Danny Garcia. You
And
have
not win the belt. He didn't care about the belt. He
yeah,
just came to fuck up Danny. And that's fine. Love that for him.
Jets Jet Speed came out and they had a moment of like where you're like, oh my god, I want to see that match so bad.
Hmm. When they
Lots
had
of
that exchange, and you were like, "Oh, these are two people who know each other's styles so well. They work together so well," and like them going for a singles like moment was so beautiful. I was like, "Great, I want to see that match one day." But also like kind of heartwarming, and that they did that little bit and was like, "Ah, this is why we love each other." Like those are my friends, Jet Speed.
yeah, this was a really fun casino gauntlet. If you take the
Yeah.
end and the beginning out of it, you go great. Roderick Strong's is doing some fun stuff. Everyone keeps on saying he's a member of the conglomeration. He's not.
He's not.
He's a member of the Paragon. But equally, stop trying to make the Paragon happen. The Paragon's never going to happen.
But also, I like to see that Ronnie's getting a little bit more meat in terms of the things he's getting to do. He's a very good wrestler. It's nice to see him about. Same with Kyle O'Reilly. Like, I'm so glad those boys are benefiting from, as much as it
Cool
is sad that like
Kyle.
cool Kyle, as much as it's like sad that a couple of their like top guys are out with injury. Like obviously Osprey's out, Swerve has been out for a long time, things like that. I am glad that it's given the rest of the roster a little bit more space to get into these positions. Like Kyle and Roddy getting their shine has been great. Like both of them are very, very good. And we're kind of not wasted, but sort of just sitting around waiting for things.
They every storyline they attempt to tell with the Adam Cole boys has not worked for various
Yes.
reasons. And
Yes.
they've now realized, oh, the solution is just to not do that. The
Yeah.
solution is to just have them do other stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah,
That's fine. It's
it
going
works.
quite well so far.
Yeah. Ricochet got the belt and
Yeah.
he'll hold it for a month
Yeah. I
and
mean,
he'll get
he's already defending it on Ring of Honor at Final Battle later this month. So,
he
sure.
he sure will defend that belt in the places it's meant to be defended. Then Bobby
Sure.
will win the belt and it will get defended nowhere.
Yeah. And that's, fine. Did we need another title? Not really. So, like, what does it matter? But
Did we need another title when the unified belt is immediately going to be broken up because of the C2 Tony, have the
I
unified belt.
don't, that one I don't understand. I don't understand why we unified it to do the Continental Classic. Like, if you wanted to keep the Continental Classic branding, simply call it the Unified Continental title.
Or make it like the Continental Classic for a title shot of your choice.
Yeah. Like,
Obviously,
I
it
just don't
should
get
be
it.
for the world, but
Like, I don't,
anyway,
because like I understand wanting to keep the branding. So if you wanted to keep it as the Continental Classic with a concrete reason as to why it's called the Continental Classic, just call your new belt the Unified Continental title. That's fine. It's a little bit like wordy, but it's fine. I don't care. However, we'll see. We'll see what they do. Either way,
can't wait for the
Continental Classic
state
has good
championship.
graps. So
I can't wait for the local authority council championship.
truly, like, what are
I
we
can't
doing?
wait for the parish council championship.
Ugh. It's just out here doing anything. And also, none of them will be for women because why would they be?
Uh, Women only need 3 belts, and
Yep,
we'll
that's all they've
only
got.
book 2 of them at a time, and we'll
Yeah,
forget that one of
God.
them exists.
God forbid we book all three at once.
Um, we'll move on to the good of the 2 hardcore matches.
I like
Um,
this one a lot.
Moxley versus Cool Kyle O'Reilly, and
Yeah.
thank God he's no longer Cool Kyle. If you don't know what Cool Kyle is, this was a character he did in NXT after Adam Cole left, where he was
Okay.
Cool Kyle, and it was the worst thing that's ever happened to the poor boy.
However,
Apart from
he's been looking
Come
great.
Tuesday was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Um,
However, recently he's been looking really great. I love that Mox, since losing the world title, has kind of just gone, do you know who I want to give a real good shine to this week? And has just been picking random guys to get his ass kicked by. I think that's beautiful. Good for you, man.
yeah, the story is Mox is terrified of submissions.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to admit that he's a sub, and he's been playing the Dom this whole time, but it's true that
Yeah.
he's not.
Yeah.
Uh,
Look, the Death Riders has one alpha in that group, and I don't have to tell you who it is.
um, 2, I'd argue it's Claudio and Marina Shafir.
You know, that's fair. I'll give Claudio that, mostly because if I don't, he'll show up and throw me the length of my house. So
Uh,
fair.
yeah, I think this is interesting. It was interesting. It wasn't a submission match. I feel like that would have been the logical progression, but they went, no, we'll let Mox do one of his bloody matches, and
Yeah.
he got a
And I
fork
think,
out, and he just started
yeah,
munching.
yeah. But I think also, like, I guess if you want to do the kayfabe reasoning of that, Mox is aware that that is his kryptonite right now. So there is no way in hell that man was agreeing to a submissions match. Because if he did, he's immediately put himself in the back foot. So he's like, right, let's get weird and bloody with it, and maybe I can eke out a win that way.
Yeah,
However, he's a flop and a loser, so he can't.
yeah. And yeah, it was back and forth quite a lot, quite a fun, bloody kind of intense match between the 2 of them. Everyone was bleeding quite early. Uh,
Yep,
they took bites out of each other. There was lots of eating each
it's
other out.
beautiful. Yeah,
And
delightful all around, actually.
just, ju- it's a shame because it seems that Kyle was legit injured at the end of the match on one of the outside
Yeah,
spots.
possibly.
Um, but yeah, Kyle O'Reilly gets the win over Moxley again. Moxley's now
Mhm.
lost to him twice, or was it 3
Yep.
times? And
Uh, is it twice?
yes, it must be twice. Yeah, twice. Because he lost to him on TV.
Hmm. Yeah, but then Kyle got the win in Blood and Guts.
Oh, so it's actually if you count Blood and
Yeah,
Guts, it's 3 times.
if you count Blood and Guts,
Um,
it's three times because Mox tapped to submission in Blood and Guts to lose that because once again he's a flop and a loser. Um, yeah, delightful work all around. Really enjoyed this one. I'm pretty high on Mox right now. Like I really like the stuff he's doing currently. Um,
he's redeemed the shite of the last,
right.
like the end, like the middle bit of the Death Raider story where he was having matches with.
Look, do I mostly blame Cope for a lot of that? Yes. So,
Yeah,
like, not all of it was great. Some of the Swerve stuff wasn't great either.
yeah.
But I think the real like shitters, a lot of it was on Cope, and that's fine. Mox is locked in ever since then, since working with Hanger and all of that. Um,
Every
uh,
week. is progressing the story of the
Yeah,
Death Raiders and specifically
exactly.
Mox's downfall.
And there's a moment where I think it's right after Mox is tapped, and he's like, he goes back in to go in and attack Kyle, and you can just see over his shoulder Marina looking absolutely devastated. And every time I see that expression on her face, I'm like, that's someone who knows she's about to have to put her dog down. Like, she is looking at him like, oh, oh, oh no, it's all over, man. Like, you're done. And it kind of is. Like, the story they're telling here is Mox doesn't have it anymore. Like, he's lost his bottle.
Yeah, he was playing the hard man, but actually underneath he's a very vulnerable little boy.
Yeah.
And
And like all the way back to that all in match with Hangman, when he taps, he's a scared animal who doesn't want to die, even though that's what he's been saying everyone has to do all along.
yeah.
Can talk the talk, can't walk the walk. What are you gonna do?
And also he has in a way saved AEW. He
Yeah.
has distracted everyone from the shite that they've been up to because everyone's been focusing on the Death Raiders stuff. It's
Yeah.
built up great people around him, and now he's giving it all to like people like Kyle and the rest of Death Raiders. Like Claudio Castagnoli is going to be the second top heel in the company after this, I
Oh,
assume.
Claudio is so scary. Like there's something about Claudio that I'm just like, that's a terrorist. Like he's so scary.
Don't say that just because he's foreign. That's not how we do these things in wrestling anymore.
No, it's because he picks people up and throws them bodily across
Yeah,
the full ring. And I'm like, you shouldn't
that
be able to do that, man.
that uppercut does look like it would take people's heads off. Um,
So scary. Every time I see him like throw someone up, I'm like, I simply would not agree to take it. I'm sorry. I don't want to. I'm scared.
you hear that, Buckers? Bex won't take your moves.
If you have an uppercut that looks like Claudio Castagnoli's, I'm not taking it in the ring because I'm afraid of you. And I don't mean kayfabe afraid. I am shit scared of you. Don't come near me.
Speaking of Kyle's, we had our second Kyle match and our second
Hell yeah.
hardcore match back to back.
Crazy work. Crazy booking decisions. Why are these back to back?
Put something in the middle. Like,
I
just
know.
move the casino to here and put this
Yeah.
after the casino. Like,
It's mad.
anyway, we had Kyle Fletcher, the champion, versus Mark Briscoe in a match that should have just been in the last pay per view.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah, it was a good enough match. It had the result I expected as soon as they put those stipulations on it. Um and it should have been in the last pay-per-view because this has been running for too long. I
Yeah,
can only hope it's done now. We can just move on from this feud. But they did not need to have this many matches in a row.
yeah, too many matches in a row, and like this, the one on the last pay per view was a better match.
Yeah.
Uh, um,
Like I still quite like this one. I think Briscoe and Fletcher work really well together. They have styles that work really well together. I generally enjoy their matches. I just didn't need to see another one.
the other thing is the story idea of having Mark Briscoe join the Don Callis family is actually great.
It's arguably a little bit better than I get the TNT title. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I could only assume they want Fletcher to start moving up the card. So they wanted that TNT title off him. In which case, like, I understand because I think Fletcher has really proven himself recently. He's been great. He's such a good, like, heel. He really understands working. I really like Fletcher. But, like, arguably it's more interesting for Briscoe to be in the John Callis family.
yeah, and like
And I say
I
this as someone who doesn't think they should have more people in the John Callis family.
I also think like Kyle is a utilitarian wrestler, a utility wrestler who can wrestle anyone. Briscoe
Yes.
has about 4 things he does really well
Yeah.
and makes him a less interesting TNT champion. I think the
It's
TNT
harder for him to
champion,
have good matches with everyone.
yeah, the TNT championship is great because it's a belt you can put on TV weekly and have people defend it. Like,
Yeah.
even going all the way from the origin of the belt with like Cody and Brody, both
Mhm.
belts, like both times they held the belts, loads of open challenges, lots of great, like introducing new people to the company, having one-off
Yep.
appearances, and giving people chances in the company to have a good title match.
Yeah.
Kyle does the same thing. Like he defended that belt against random luchadors from CMLL. So like
Yeah.
I don't see Mark Briscoe being able to defend
Doing that the
against
same.
everyone.
Even like I think about Forbidden Door 'cause obviously like I was there, so I remember it. Do I think Mark Briscoe could have gone out and put on a banger match with Takahashi? Maybe not. So like, what does that say for this reign? I don't know. Maybe it'll be booked in a way that that'll work out and it'll be fine.
But
But I
I
think
do want
you'll
to see that.
lose. I
I do
right. I
want
want
to
to see
see
them try. I
Takahashi
do want to see
versus
them.
Mark
I
Briscoe.
do want to see them try actually. Maybe it'll be booked in a way that they don't have to worry about that. Maybe it won't be that long of a reign. I don't know. But I agree that you might miss that sort of utility aspect of Kyle of this is a reliable person we can chuck out there to have a good to great match with almost anyone.
It's a good thing it won't matter for 2 months because the C2's happening.
Exactly. You know what?
Uh,
If they were going to do it, kind of the perfect time to do it. Because, yeah, Briscoe could get a longer reign without having to worry about defending it, really.
Not too busy, got C2 to do, sorry. No title
Sorry,
defenses on
C2.
TV.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got a women's tag tournament to finish and the C2.
Yeah,
Um,
which we'll see if they finish the women's tag tournament at this rate, because it's been going for 3 years.
yeah, it's been a bit long-winded.
Yeah.
Well, uh, next up, we had a match that, in theory, should have been good. I think it probably was all right, but
It was alright. Again,
we
it's
saw this
AEW.
last month.
Yeah, it's AEW. The wrestling is always good to great. Like, I will very rarely complain about the actual in-ring work we see. Did I care that much about this? No. And I guess the function of it is we're going back to the elite, right?
Mm.
Which, again, whatever.
Bucks have done this really conscious thing of having a new gimmick, doing it for a couple of weeks to a month, and then
Hmm.
moving on.
Yeah.
It's before it gets stale. And
Yes.
sometimes I think that leaves things on the table. Like
Yeah.
I know I'm the only person who liked the founding fathers, but I thought they could have done that for a bit longer and
Yeah.
still gotten away with it. But they went into no Bucks, young Bucks.
Yes.
And that story was fun. They had some really fun
I've liked
creativity with
that
it.
one. Yep.
And now they've gone, and now we're back to the elite again. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I could have gone the rest of the year with them in these characters.
Yeah.
Um,
I do suspect, and I think some reports have come out to sort of imply this. They've put the Bucks back with, so they like Josh Alexander and the Bucks win this. They defeat Jurassic Express and Omega, but um, the Bucks have a face turn at the end essentially, and help Kenny Omega out. And I think the implication is that they're putting the Bucks back with Kenny so that Kenny can have matches without having to run singles matches because he's just not really up to it anymore. Which like is understandable, and I do get why they're doing that because if Kenny still wants to have this run and wants to do it with his friends, like I get that. But I'm just like we could have dragged this a little and gave it a little more breathing space. I also wonder how much of this was their initial plan for this was they were going to bring the Golden Lovers back, and then Ibushi broke his leg, so they couldn't.
yeah.
So they pivoted to the elite, which I wouldn't be surprised at. I think that's possibly a factor. Um, so
Bushi, just stop breaking every bone in your body, please.
I know. Bless him. I hope he's recovering well, but good God. So yeah, I think that is probably the reason this happened. Did I need
It's
to see this match here? No.
no. I
That's kind
think
of the thing.
the lead up to this as well was very Bucks focus with a little bit of like they bring Omega out on TV and then they don't really do much with Omega. It's like
Yeah.
because the thing is, like his first match back when after he died from diverticulitis, whatever,
Diverticulitis, yeah.
yeah, was amazing. That match he has at New Japan, mind
Mhm.
blowing. It's like, oh my god, that's still Kenny Omega. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, behind the scenes, it's killing him doing those matches.
It's not great. He's
Um,
he's having a hard time.
maybe if he just stopped having to sell the fact that he almost died and they keep on punching him in the stomach and making him cough up blood would help.
Maybe.
Uh,
Maybe.
and as much as I think it was not the best match they've ever had, the Omega Okada match was still fun to watch.
Yeah.
Um, I am up for watching the Elite. I think the Elite have always been they're very much love them or leave them. They're
Yes.
Marmite of wrestling. The whole company is built on the fact that they're the Marmite of wrestling.
Yeah.
And the Young Bucks are back on being the Elite. They've started doing that again, and
Mhm.
it seems to be like they are living the high life of where they are.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that this all happened, and I think the story beat was good. Like they gave
Yeah.
up the money to go and save their friend, and that
Yeah.
was all good. Jurassic Express being back together is a great, like theoretically, a great story component to this because
Mhm.
Jack Perry's just been a dick for the last year. Um, with the Young Bucks, and I always like watching Luchasaurus wrestle because he's the
Yeah.
best guy in this match. Secretly, no one knows, but he's the best guy in the match, and he looks great
Not
every time
wrong.
he does one of his stupid moves.
Yeah.
But I just we had a Young Bucks and Jurassic Express match last month on the pay per view, and he was like, "Well, it's just this with a little bit of Josh Alexander and a little bit of Omega."
Yeah.
I didn't need this.
Again, this is the peril of like, look, there's only so much space in a pay-per-view card. And as much as you do want to highlight your top guys and like your best talent, sometimes that just doesn't work when you throw them in the same match and it takes up time that other wrestlers could have had.
Yeah.
Like you've got a
Move
lot
this
of
off
your
the
big
show.
names.
Put another
Yeah,
women's match on.
exactly. You've got a lot of your big names on the card already. Kenny Omega does not need more pay-per-view time. He's pretty made as it is. Like he doesn't need the pay-per-view time to get over. People will get behind Kenny Omega at any point. But I
They've
also
got
understand wanting to have the face turn angle on the pay-per-view, but still.
what you could have made this the pre-show weird match.
Yeah,
That
you
crossed
run
over to the
over.
main card. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, the the okay. Last thought on this. They've abandoned Kenny's new theme, and everyone didn't
Yeah.
like Kenny's new theme, but I did. I thought it was really good. I thought it was
Yeah.
great. I actually prefer it over this one. Anyway,
No,
that's
they've
that's my
absolutely banned it.
I love this new theme was great, and he got the guy from Final Fantasy to do
He
the music
did,
for it.
which is very cool.
He must have spent so much money on that, and it's all gone
And they were
down the
just like,
bloody
nah,
toilet
it's
because
fine.
fans don't like change. Anyway, that I hope he still uses it if he does a New Japan match. Anyway,
Yes.
I'll get off my soapbox about Kenny's theme. Um, talking of entrances, that was a segue.
Hey.
Talk about the Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Moné match for the AEW Women's World Championship.
Yes.
We already had a little chat beforehand. I'm not this match's biggest fan, but
I Okay, well, actually, it's time for me to get on my soapbox, first of all. This match is hurt by the placement in the card. It's a batshit place to put it. I'm sorry to Tony Khan, but a co-main event does not exist. That's not a thing. Stop trying to lie to me. They're second last on the card. If you weren't going to have the main event, that should have opened the show. Because the crowd is dead the whole way through. It really suffers from that. People are blown out, they don't care, etc. Secondly, I have personal beef with New Jersey, and generally, I love the state of New Jersey. My partner is from there, I visit very frequently. A lovely place to be. This crowd was awful. I understand being blown out, right? They are very long shows, it's a lot of wrestling, it's very hard to sustain that level of energy, so I'm not even that mad about that. What I am mad about is my lovely partner was at this show. Every single man surrounding her was a nightmare. And I mean that so seriously, and that they had terrible things to say about all the women. They were misgendering my partner, they were harassing her, they were harassing other women, they were drunk and belligerent. Behave yourselves. Like, I hate to, like, generally, I think a lot of stereotypes about fans of anything are overblown. This is how wrestling fans have stereotypes like this. So, you know? And also, if you're gonna sit there and be like, I bet I could beat that woman up, she's not that tough. If you're gonna say that about any woman on this card, why did you pick Marina Shafir? Like, she will actually shoot kill you, and I believe that. So,
It's disgusting.
like, it's just grim. It ruins it for everyone. It ruins it for the people who are just perfectly normal trying to have a nice time. You're not big, you're not clever, it's embarrassing. Get a grip. So, if this match had been done with a better crowd behind it, I think a lot of people would have looked more favourably on it. Because I think as a performer, like of any kind, but as a wrestler, it's so hard to go out there, put it all out in the line, like your body, your health, like all of your energy, and get fuck all back from a crowd. Like that's demoralizing. And I think both of them did great with the crowd they had. I genuinely I do really like this match. In terms of their trilogy, where would I put it? In the middle, maybe. I think I prefer World's End over this. Um, but I think I prefer this to their first Full Gear match. Their first Full Gear match is a very much like feeling out process. Um, but I generally quite liked this match. Um, I just wish it had been given more favourable circumstances in the context of the whole show, which is a shame. And also, unfortunately, quite often the case with women's world title matches in this company.
Yeah.
Like, put them in better places in the card. Stop setting these women up for failure. It sucks.
There's a terms of audience when you go to an AEW show. When I went to Cardiff, there was a big
Yeah,
sign on that says what you should be as a wrestling audience.
yeah,
And I think AEW are good in that they present that
yeah,
openly.
yeah.
However, what is the system in place for when that isn't happening? And how do
Do,
we interact
I,
with that is a
I
great question that
will,
yeah.
yeah. I will say
Uh,
generally, staff, AEW staff, not venue staff, because venue staff are very hit and miss
yeah.
depending on where you are. But AEW staff tend to be very good. At the Glasgow show, we had some teenage boy who was just thought he was clever trying to get himself over shouting gross things, and I did report it and he did shut up for the rest of the show, whether they removed him or just gave him a talking to or whatever. Um, and I will also say that some folk from, I believe it's from AEW Heels, which is the group of fans run by Aubrey Edwards for women who go to AEW shows, um, reached out to my partner and put her in touch with the AEW security, and they asked for reports and things like that. By that point, um, my partner had chosen to leave, and also this is the last women's match in the card. They wouldn't have caught them saying anything else out of pocket, like it was done. But generally speaking, I think if you go to a show like this and there are people acting out like this, I think AEW staff do tend to be quite on it. If there are large crowds and there are large venues, and obviously you can't monitor every single person. But yeah, if you're listening and you go and someone is annoying you, report them. Like, why should they get to ruin your night? Like, so yeah, I'll give that to AEW. Like, I think their staff generally are very like keen to be on top of these things. It's just not the easiest when you've got 10,000 or however many people in a venue. It's a lot of folk. But
Yeah.
also, just do better. Stop being weird.
Yeah. Just
Like,
also people just need to be better and like accept that AEW is actually quite a progressive crowd usually. And
exactly. But like,
it's one of the
oh,
things that like makes it unique in
yeah.
mainstream wrestling right now.
Like,
Um
just stop being weird is
Stop
actually
being
my
assholes.
takeaway.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, Chris and
lift,
Mercedes, very talented women. So,
lift us up. I have to talk
exactly.
about how fucking good that entrance was from Chris Statlander.
Yeah.
This was some stage magic. It probably looked awful to a live crowd, but on television,
Looked
this fucking
great on
rocked.
telly. Yeah. It was
So,
so cool.
some sparklers come down from the stage on the far right of the stage of the ramp, and then the lights come up on a crashed space rocket, and then it's Chris Statlander. You can slightly see it, but he's running from backstage and has to do a front roll through the door of the spaceship. She has
Looks
one
so good.
chance to make that work. If she fucks
Yeah.
it, it's awful. But she does a forward roll through the door, lands on it, and then is fucking great.
Gets to walk out like through her people, through her galaxy with her title. It's so good. It's a
It
great
was
entrance.
amazing. It's the best entrance AEW have done in a while because they are
Yeah,
like
it was very fun.
they don't commit to the majesty of the entrance, other than
Yeah.
we're going to put men with no shirts on in front of a couple
I
of
just
people.
This is my right at Mercedes Money. If you're listening to this, I have a beef with you, and that beef is have women hold your belts. Have women hold your belts. Why are we
But she's taking it
spotlighting
off the
indie?
women, right? The narrative is
I
that they're
know,
her belts.
I
Those men are
know, but
her
also
toys.
why are why are we spotlighting indie male wrestlers? Put all the fun like indie women that you like just hanging out here.
I have an alternative pitch.
Uh-huh.
Have Beast Mortos hold all the belts as you come
Just
out with
carrying them,
you on his shoulders.
and he's just like fuck, shit,
Fuck,
fuck.
shit.
There's too many of them.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I should.
Yeah.
Or
Just
I
just give Mercedes Luther when Luther comes back. So he's
yeah.
like, I don't need you anymore. Go away. Bored of
Do
you.
you know what they should do? They should make Mox the new Luther. Hear me
John
out,
Moxley, I have an idea if you're willing.
Tony. Give us a call. Both Tonys, give us a call. We can
The
pitch them.
idea of John Moxley being Tony Storm's butler moves me so incredibly in a way that I didn't realize was possible. Mox, please. Please. I need them to do a Texas death match where the stipulation is if Tony wins, Mox becomes her butler, and if Mox wins, Tony joins the Death Riders. That's all I need, actually.
That's great. Perfect.
Yeah.
Um,
And then Tony wins because Mox will sell his ass off for her.
the match itself.
Anyway.
Statlander gets her shoulder buggered in early on.
Yes.
So Monet leads the match. And for me, that's what doesn't work about it, for me personally, is I was hoping to see Statlander presented as a little bit more powerful as a face.
Yeah.
And because Monet basically takes most of the match and
Sure.
and we've seen that she's great when she wrestles people the same size as her. When she's against someone who's a bit bigger than Statlander, her moveset becomes quite limited in what she can do to
Yeah.
Statlander.
I
So
get
then
you.
we get the 14 amigos, and you're like, is this fun? Or is this going, this is the only move we can hit on Statlander because she's too big?
It's very funny. It's very funny. So my defense of the 14 Amigos spot is A, I think it's a really funny bit. B, I think it's also just like such a like in character thing for Mercedes to A, be cocky enough that she is counting the AEW Women's World title already as one of her belts. Like, you haven't won it yet, girl. Like, let's slow our roll. B, to be cocky enough to think that she can do 14 Amigos. And then C, also to be like, I have a point to prove because I've already lost this title once, so I'm going to prove something no one has asked me to prove. And in the process, like, you see it somewhere around like 10 Amigos. She's blown up. Like, she's completely gassed herself. She has nothing left in the tank, but she's committed to it. So she sees it through. Stat is obviously laid out after 14 Amigos. and she can't capitalize on it because she's taken it too far. And I think it's a solid little spot in that sense. I think it's a really good like character work, but I do understand why people are like, all right, we took it too far.
Yeah, I can see it, and I think the story they tell is good.
Mhm.
I think the match itself, despite the crowd being dead until the 15th Amigo, uh, is like, all right, okay, I get
Yeah.
the structure of the match that exists. Was fine. I was
Mhm.
just very confused as to the way they presented Statlander in this match.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, she still looks strong. She's beat Monet.
Yeah.
Mone's now lost her chance at getting the AEW Women's Champion twice now. But last time, I was like, oh, Tony just came out on top on Monet. In this
Yeah.
match, you're like, Monet fucked it for herself, and Statlander's lucky she's got the belt. Was kind of how I
Yeah.
read it.
I think as
Um,
well, like, I think it depends if you look at this match of like, are they telling Mercedes' story or Chris's story? And I think there's a little bit of both, but I think the result tells more of Chris's story than the match does. The match is more about like Mercedes is so desperate to get this to prove it to herself that she can't see past it. She's in her own way. Whereas the result is more important for Chris, who can now use that as a I don't need to prove myself to you. I've beat the two top women in this company. Um,
I don't
so
need to
like,
have a rematch with Monet. Monet's not
yeah,
getting a rematch. She's not winning the belt at World's End.
exactly. Like, I gave Tony the rematch because fair enough, I beat her in a multi-women match. So beating her in a singles, fair enough. But now I beat them both in singles. I don't need to prove myself to you. Just give me someone to wrestle. Fine. But yeah, I think the actual match story is more about Mercedes is in her own way because she can't see past this idea that she's the best and this idea that she deserves the title, whereas everyone else is fighting for it. She's just like, I should have it because I'm the best, whereas everyone else is like, I should have it because I'm fighting for it because I want it, which I think makes um, pretty decent sense. And also, I really liked like as much as I generally don't love callbacks in matches, I think sometimes you can rely on them too much and it becomes like a bit of a nostalgia fest. There were just enough in this that I thought it was fun. Like at one point, Statlander hits a Storm Zero, right? So she's like, okay, well, if I can't put you away with what I do, then let's try the last person who put you away. Let's see if that does anything. And also when she hit that no one called it out because the crowd was dead, so no one cared, but I cared because I remembered. Stat hits a Bailey to belly into what's she calling it now? Not the bank statement.
Oh, Moneymaker. No, that's the wrong one.
No, Moneymaker's the drop. What is she calling it?
No idea.
Let me go look. And I will re-say all of that once I know the move I'm trying to describe, because for some reason Moneymaker, backstabber. None of those.
She loves a backstabber.
Her
I loves a
backstabbers are
backstabber.
great. She also loves meteoras that make me really worried for her knees.
I fucking love a good Mercedes match with a million meteors and
They're
backstabbers. I'm just
great.
like,
No, they're
keep
so
doing it,
good.
keep doing it, do it again, do it again.
No, I love it. I love a meteora, but I'm always like, girl, your knees. Anyway, it's a statement maker now, which is a terrible name, but I
There we go.
digress. Yeah, Stat hits the Bailey to belly into the statement maker, which specifically that exact little sequence is from NXT Takeover Brooklyn when she and Bailey wrestled for the first time, like in that like little trilogy they had. And I popped so severely for that I was like, does no one else care? Does no one else give a fuck? Because like I thought that was great. And again, a fun little like nod to her two like greatest opponents. No one come for me, but Mercedes herself has said her three wrestling soulmates are Bailey, Tony, and Chris. So I'm allowed to say it too.
Yeah, that's right. I can't think of another person
Right.
saying that. I'm
Like
like,
she's right.
yeah, like she's had a lot of matches with Charlotte, but that doesn't mean
Yeah.
they were good. There was just a lot of them.
Yeah, and also she's had a lot of good matches with a lot of people, but that doesn't make you wrestling soulmates. Those three women are definitely like her. Anyway,
I,
I
I
digress.
forgot about the legacy of Chris Statlander versus Monet going into this. I
Yeah.
forgot that they'd had a match the year previously where
Hmm.
Statlander loses. I kind of
Yep.
forgotten that, and I don't think that AEW sold that story with
Yeah.
their video packages that they could have.
Yeah.
Um,
I remembered it because I'm
yeah, you,
insane. But like,
yeah,
I would have enjoyed them highlighting it some more. And also I have beef with the production for this, but they redid the count out spot from World's End, which is one of my favorites, where Chris is out of the ring and Mercedes like thinks she's won it and Chris dives in at the last second. And they did that where Mercedes got to dive in at the last second, but they cut away from Chris's face when they did it. And I'm like, no, because the point of the spot is you get to see them go, ah, oh no, they're
yeah,
back. But then redoing that spot was also fun. So like there's enough callbacks in there to like remind us of their story and of other stories that these women have had without it being like, here's a nostalgia fest at the price of the match. So, you know,
yeah,
um, yeah, I enjoyed it. Again, I don't think it's the best match they've had together, but I do think it was a very good one. I mean,
yeah.
they're both very good wrestlers. It's probably very hard for them to have a bad match together.
Yeah, it was not a bad match. Callum just would have booked it differently. Is the problem here for
Yeah,
me? It's like
that's
Callum goes,
valid.
could have been someone else, and sometimes
Um,
wrestling fans, you just gotta let things change and be different. Like Kenny Omega's theme song.
so
Okay,
true. I am very curious to see who they build as stats next contender, though.
surely it's Sackler.
I think it's
Surely
Tekla. I think
it's
it's
got
Tekla
to be.
based on TV, like the weekly TV, and just sort of where she's at right now, which like excellent. Love Tekla, high in her right now. Um, she'll. I don't expect her to win it, and I don't think she should win it, but the two of them will probably have a banger match. They'll have a great little
Sackler,
feud.
Jamie Hayter,
Yeah.
Willow should be her
Yes.
next three opponents.
We'll see. I think Willow should take it off her as the issue. So I'm like, oh, maybe we kick Willow further down the line.
Well,
We'll
we
see how
don't
long
need long title reigns.
we don't
Long
need long
title
title
reigns are
reigns.
passe at this point because the
That's
other
true. We
company does
don't.
those. We have
Yeah.
short title reigns for our AEW World Championships. Talking of the main event, Samoa Joe versus Hangman Adam Page in a steel cage match,
Sure was.
which was designed so that people wouldn't interfere anymore. This was three halves of a good match.
Here's the real issue with this. The real issue with this is not the end, it's not the result, it's not any of the match. The issue with this is it all comes hanging on hook.
That's also my problem with it. I thought I was alone in this. I don't care about all the. It's the fact it's Hook.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make Hook happen. Hook won't
It's not
happen.
happening. Because like if this had been I'm trying to think who I would put in his spot. Say if we had done this whole storyline with Powerhouse Hobbs, I'd have popped the whole way through. It'd have been delightful. I'd have had a wonderful time. But instead, I'm left sitting here going, Hook? Okay.
Or like, imagine if it was Eddie.
Right.
That's a subversion.
Yeah.
The subversion of this is that Hook got injured, got kicked off the
Mhm.
team, went and started a different team, had
Yeah.
some wins, and was successful in that team. But actually, it was a ruse all along to help Joe win the belt in a match they didn't know was going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's how they've explained it as well on TV. It's not that Hook
Yes.
chose in that moment to help
No, no. It was
Samoa
all
win
a
the belt.
long term. It was a long term plan.
Maybe it'll work. Maybe
Maybe.
this is the way that we get Hook to be interesting is that he's a smarmy bastard.
Maybe.
But
And this is the other thing as well, like, obviously, we've not actually said. So, a Hangman loses the title here, Samoa Joe picks it up and is the new world champion. That's fine, because do you know what? It's Samoa Joe. If you're
always
gonna
believable.
hotshot if you're gonna hotshot your world belt onto someone and it's Samoa Joe, fine. Absolutely no problems for me. And also, Samoa Joe as a heel is so good. He's such a good heel. I really don't have any problem with him having this belt. It's just, it's just why are we trying to make Hook happen?
It because it hangs on that weird moment where Hook picks up the belt and you go, oh, he's turning heel for some reason, and I
Yeah,
don't get why.
yeah,
And like they've explained it on TV as, haha, I've been a genius the whole time. Like, no, you haven't. You got injured.
good. Yeah,
Like that's what happened. I
you didn't plan to be injured. That's nothing.
it
Because it's not even like they're running at like a fake injury
no.
angle. Like he still got injured, so it's like you can't have planned this unless the implication is you got injured and then planned this off your injury.
And what
Which,
do
like,
you
I
get out of it,
guess
Hook? Like, you don't win the belt.
nothing.
You're still not the
Yeah,
trios champion. You just lost the
yeah,
tag team you were in that you were winning in.
yeah. And also, I just, once again, very hard to make me care about a man. You are not going to make me care about Hook.
The moment
But,
that Hook spoke, Hook died. Like he was fine as a
correct.
silent weirdo who was
Yeah,
Taz's son, but then they
yeah.
tried to make him speak. Give Taz as the
Shouldn't have done
manager.
that. Yeah.
Like the answer was there all along.
Because, like,
Match
Taz
was
is
good.
basically his manager on social media. Might as well just do it on TV.
Like the match leading up to this was all really great until the interference spots started happening. Like we saw that side of Hangman that gets unlocked in the steel cage. It wasn't the
Yes.
swerve match, and nothing ever will be the swerve match. And I think
No.
that maybe they
And I
did
don't
this
think.
to
I also.
stop that from happening. Was like going,
Yeah.
it can't be that match, so we should add all the nonsense in to make
I
up
also
for the
just kind
fact
of
that,
think,
like,
like,
yeah,
nothing really should be the swerve match, right? Like, until you book a feud that runs as long and as intense as that, they shouldn't be on the same level, because why would they be?
um,
I
unless you
don't
know what
know.
match should be like that, the rematch between
Well,
Swerve
yes.
and Hangman. Um,
Oh, that steel cage match is so good.
uh, so like, and like, I think Joe is a perfect. He's a guy that you can make legitimate no matter what because he's so intense and he's so cool and like
Yeah.
they're probably giving him another title run because he's towards the end of his career
Yeah.
and he's probably done after this contract
Yeah. Which, like,
until TNA
again,
pay a lot of
I'm
money.
not. I'm not against that because, once again, it's Samoa Joe. Like, genuinely, you could not book him. I was gonna say you could not book him in a storyline and then give him the belt and it would be believable, which is what they've done, really. But, like, I have no issue with him being the world champion. Like, that's perfectly acceptable to me. It's genuinely just the hook of it all.
Yeah. Um, I I think it's a better title reign for Hangman. I think they're
Yeah,
always going to struggle booking Hangman as a champion because, like, they don't want to beat some of their top talent in title
yeah,
matches.
yeah,
Like, we should have had a Bobby Hangman match, and Hangman should have beat Bobby. That's like a thing
yeah.
that should have happened, and it's logical that it makes sense to do that. Or like, who else is in that top picture? I'm trying to think of people in the C2. Um, like, literally put him against anyone who's in the C2, and that's
Yeah.
but outside the context of a tournament, they don't like beating their top talent.
I
Uh,
also think that, like, a lot of Hangman's appeal is in the chase. Like he's a very good champion, but he's at his most compelling when he has something he wants. And sort of as a champion, it's a lot harder to book a story where there's still something you want because the story is ostensibly that everyone should want the world title. So once you have it, where do you kind of go from there? Um, and I just some people that's okay, but Hangman is really like he does his best work when he has something to prove. And outside of like blood feuds, like with Swerve, it's not always that easy to make that storyline with a champion. So I do understand why his reigns often feel lackluster. It's just a shame because like he is one of the best like talents in that company and he should be able to be rewarded with that championship.
They've built the company around making Swerve the top guy. Like
Yeah.
like, and even when it wasn't working, they made it work. Like that's the commitment of
Yeah.
All Elite Wrestling is Hangman is the future of our top belt.
And it's also like Hangman's the main character, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean he has to be the champion. He's just the main character, and that's okay. I think as much as like I love to see my faves get a win, I'm also coming around to this idea that you don't necessarily need to have a title to be the guy, right? So long as the booking reflects that, I think it's okay. Like, ostensibly, Mox has been doing some of the best work since he lost that title. He doesn't need that title to do the work that the ace
Not
of
ha-
AEW should be doing.
not having the belt has actually helped him so much to be free to
Yeah,
lose to who he wants and have the storytelling ability to do weird
exactly.
things. Yeah, I think we also get importantly Swerve returns after this whole angle goes down. The lights go
Mhm.
down. Sorry, importantly, the Ops Dojo, who existed at the start of this pay per view and then existed at the end of the pay per view, out of
And never
nowhere.
anywhere else.
That was stupid. Um, so they had some putty patrollers for Swerve to punch in the end of the match.
Yes. Because
Swerve
Swerve's
comes out.
back.
We get the burning house on the
Yep.
Titantron, and they have to do the intro twice because Prince Nana does it secretly in the dark before the light comes up on him. I don't know if anyone else noticed this, but I heard
God, that's
what
funny.
Nana was saying and him do the motions in the dark before lighting sorted itself out. They fucked it.
Oh,
They
that's
just
so unserious.
they fucked it. Anyway,
That's
uh,
very funny.
Prince Nana, the as I've heard it be described on the Vessel Talk podcast, the Silver Surfer to Swerve's Galactus, and I was like, it's the wrong company.
Excellent.
I can't. It's the wrong company. Can't do it. It's DC.
But love it
Uh,
though. Excellent.
uh, Swerve makes his way down, walking looking like he's $1 million, and gets into the ring. And for like 5 seconds, you think, is he going to attack Hangman? No, that would be stupid. And well,
Yeah.
hold a minute, they might. This story has been stupid with Hook, and then he does the right thing and attacks not Joe,
Yeah.
but the Mooks for some
Yeah,
reason.
I don't know why he wouldn't attack Joe, but fine, I guess.
Uh,
It's nice to see Swerve back.
I saw a report from Fightful. He'll be back in a month. And the moment I saw that, I
And
went,
then he showed
well, he's
up the
back tonight,
next
isn't
day.
he?
Yeah. I
um,
mean, I saw that and was like, it will be a month. I was like, it might not be tonight, but I'll see you like 2 weeks on Dynamite. Like, you know? But no, it was delightful to see him back. Like, I like Swerve. I'm glad he's back and he's well. Um I think he was insane for wrestling for 6 years with a torn meniscus, but I digress. Like, what are we doing here, man?
stop doing it, boys. It's and girls.
What are we-
Stop wrestling injured. It doesn't help anyone. And
Doesn't
it also
work.
means that you go out for surgery at the wrong time. We don't need you to do that. Do it
Mhm.
early, so when we don't build stories around you and then go, oh, you got to go for 6 months. Well,
Interesting.
fuck.
Why didn't you tell us this before? And it's like, well, actually, I've been
It's
wrestling
all a
with
scam
torn
to get the
meniscus.
surgery paid for. That's what it is.
I mean, they're American, can you blame them?
Yeah, I love Swerve. They have made Swerve such a big prospect. Like, he's gone from
Yeah.
being in the background to Raw Underground to leaving WWE to being one of the 2 top guys in AEW. Like,
Yeah.
incredible stuff. They've put so much into him, and, like, it's not always been the best ride. Like, he was a bit wonky when he was the tweener, where they hadn't quite
Yeah.
figured out if he was face or heel, and they were like going, "Look how good it is that we've got Swerve as our first Black World Champion." You're like, "Yeah, but he's just cool. You don't need to do this story." It was cool.
Yeah.
It is important that, like, the diversity of
Yeah.
AEW is one of its strengths, but, like, we can see that without you having to tell it, and
Yeah,
it
you're
didn't
having
fit
to
his
say,
character. So then we got into the Hangman feud, and now that is the story that we're continuing. The final shot
"Oh,
of the pay-per-view being Hangman and Swerve standing side by side without looking at each other. Because if they looked at each other, they'd just kiss.
yeah, well, exactly. Like, okay, what's this all about?" Sometimes I think about that feud and I think about Hangman cutting that promo where he's like, feuding with you has become more important to me than my marriage. And I'm like, all right, man, sure, if you say so. Like, sure, man, I don't, you said
there's
it.
there's something in the waters at AEW. I don't know what to tell you.
It's
Like,
beautiful. I love
Penelope
it so
Ford
much.
came out for a match she wasn't in with a broken arm to be Harley to her Ivy. I don't know what to tell you. Um,
And she's still doing that. And I think that's
yeah,
beautiful.
it's beautiful, and we love that,
Uh,
and we support all of our queers who wrestle. But
true.
yeah, overall, this show was fine. The weakest, for me, the weakest of the year for AW.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Um, do I slightly prefer it over Wrestle Dream? I don't know. This and Wrestle Dream for me have been the weakest.
My
Um,
argument for Wrestle Dream is that the Monet, so the Monet match on that card is amazing, and the
yeah,
Storm Statlander match is amazing, and a bunch
that's
of
true.
matches that we got on that card basically got repeated here. So they
That's
moved the
true.
results a month later, where basically they should have just put the results on the Wrestle Dream
On
card.
I think actually that's what should have happened, and that I think some of the results from this should have gone on Wrestle Dream, and it would have made both pay-per-views stronger. So
Um,
yeah, I think that's generally where I stand. Definitely the two weaker ones, but then that seems to sort of be a pattern with AEW where like listen, we get into football season and it kind of becomes a little
You can't be hot all year, and that's the problem that wrestling
no.
companies face, is that they run all year when maybe they shouldn't. They should be maybe 2 off
Yeah.
seasons so that they can
Yeah.
actually focus on what they're doing. Unfortunately, companies have got too many people on their rosters because everyone signed everyone in the great signing war of 2024 and 2023. And now we're gonna get the great signing war of 2026
Yeah.
where everyone
Uh,
resigns. Um,
yes.
so
But we'll see. I don't at this stage I don't think anything is really set up for World's End yet. We'll have the Continental Classic ending there. Um,
we got some
Beyond that, I'm
stories
not really
going
sure.
because we got
We've got
Mox's
some stories
downfall,
cooking.
Okada versus
Yes.
Takeshita, um,
Yeah.
Hangman and Swerve versus Joe, probably in a freeway,
Could see it.
or some sort of
And
tag match,
I
which will be disappointing.
and I do think you're right. I do think Stat and Tekla is the next move, which delightful. I love my spider. She's a menace.
So that was Full Gear. Um,
Yeah,
we look forward to seeing you at the end of the world again.
yes indeed.
It's weird how it keeps ending. There's no
Funny that.
Thanos type threat this time. We don't have MJF and his
Yeah,
little devil mask, do we? So
maybe
it'll
for
probably
the
be better.
best.
Um,
I feel like he's due back soon, which I'm like, we'll see
yeah.
where that goes.
Well, yeah. This landscape's slightly different now. It'd be weird to see where he fits
Yeah.
in.
And he still
Maybe.
has that
Ah,
contract for the title shot, which I don't love. Like I can feel that hanging over my head like
yeah.
a guillotine.
it'll be that, or what they might do, and it's bad booking, but they'll probably do it because it's MJF, and he's addicted to starting factions that don't go anywhere. There'll be a split in the Don Callis
Yep.
family, and the person who's running the
Sure.
other half is
Will be
MJF.
MJF. Ugh.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
And then I assume either the women's tag tournament will end there or the first defense will be there. Or I would like to think, but that's going
I
to
can
require
only
Tony Khan
hope
to
and
put
dream.
3 women's matches in a card, and who knows.
One will be on the pre-show.
Yeah.
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 I would like to end this podcast by recommending a completely different pay-per-view by a different company. Clash of the Comics is now available to
Oh my
watch in the
god.
UK on the
Yes.
Ustream what Dave is part of. It's a
Yeah.
bad production of it because it's split into
It's
9
so
parts. It's
it's so
almost
unserious though.
unwatchable, but
Beautiful.
great, great pay-per-view, like great card. It is stand-up comedians in the UK
Yep.
alongside some British wrestling talent. So you've got people like Nia Samuels is in the first match against Maisie. I can't remember her last name.
Adams, I believe her name
Maybe
is.
Adam, yeah.
Nina
Which is a
Samuels,
pretty, which
my
is which is a pretty
beloved.
simple match. They're all
Yeah.
simple matches because a lot of this is comedians who've trained for about as long as Bax has doing a proper wrestling pay-per-view match. So there's
Yeah.
basically 3 matches on the card. There's an angle, but it doesn't matter. So there's the opening, which is Maisie Adams versus Nia Samuels. Then you've got a
Yeah.
7-team tornado eliminator match for tag teams, which is so much fun. It's really, really good, that match. And then you've got the main
Ugh,
event, which is Ed Gamble versus Phil Wang in what
it's
is
beautiful.
basically a main event wrestling match that goes for 20 minutes
Yeah.
by guys who can barely do it. But
Yeah. And also, the thing is, some of the wrestling in that show, I've seen worse on television by professionals. Like,
yeah,
it's not terrible. It's not a 5-star classic by any means, but it's not terrible wrestling.
I didn't know who Cyclone was. I love Cyclone. She's awesome.
Yeah.
And the crowd went,
Yeah,
"Oh,
it's
what's
so fun.
this?"
It's so much fun. And
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
look, I love Nina. I love Nina Samuels. I have to say it. I'm breaking my kayfabe bit from Eve shows where we have beef, but I love her. I think she's wonderful. It's nice to see her on telly just doing a silly thing. So like, it's a fun little
every
blend of.
show is the Nina Samuels show. This is
It's
secretly the Nina
correct.
Samuels show.
It needs more Nina. All shows need more Nina.
Well, Nina, yeah. I mean, I
She's a
saw she got
delight.
to wrestle. She wrestled the TV match of the Dynamite in Cardiff that I went to see,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, yeah, AW, yeah, don't steal her from us, but also you should just
But
book her.
also, right. This is how I feel about a lot of like my Eve girls. I'm like, okay, don't like sign them because then you'll steal them from me. But like also book them, you know?
She's got TV presence. Her like her promo
Yeah.
work, her presentation. She just
She's great. One of my all-timer favorites, and it's fairly old now because it's when Charlie Morgan was wrestling in Eve, and they run the angle of they are feuding. Nina is working heel as she loves to do, um, and Nina makes like an offhanded like side swipe at Charlie, and it's like I can't remember the exact wording, but it's something like, "Oh, people like you, whatever," and it sets up this perfect vehicle of Charlie Morgan comes out in an Eve ring, like fully is like gets to cut this huge row, and like people like me, and it's just some of the like genuinely the most like cathartic storytelling I've seen in a wrestling ring because it's just Charlie yelling at Nina like "fuck you, I'm gay," and I'm like beautiful, love it, and it's just so fun. Like they get it, and I'm like
yeah.
could just for a
We
little bit.
we are in a golden age of new British talent, and also like
Yeah,
we get the scene. This like everyone is willing to do weird and crazy things. Like Riot Cabaret has been such a breath of life into the whole
yeah,
kind of wrestling ecosystem. Like Clash of the Comics is great because it highlights what is good about wrestling, why other people can get into it, and like
Yeah.
also like Joe Lycett even comes out at the end and says, "This is gay, isn't it?" It's like, yes, it is.
Yeah,
Thank you for
correct. That's
noticing. Um,
kind of the point.
and we're all happy
Yeah.
to make ourselves look like fools. And like, Kendo Nagasaki's had another match. It's all great. If you haven't found
Like
out about Kendo
it's
Nagasaki, you need to look this up.
it's uh it's a pantomime but with violence, and I think that's beautiful.
It's pantomime, but better. And take this as someone who's watched
Yeah.
too many pantomimes over the last 4 years for
I
research.
used to work in a theatre. I worked there for 4 years, which meant I did four panto seasons, and that's four too many because I was working 6 days a week. The panto would run twice a day. Too much.
It
It's
was
just
a
me stood there watching the panto like they mucked that line up. Oh, they missed their cue. I've seen this too many times.
I'll save this story for after the podcast, but I
Yeah,
have a theatre wrestling story that is
beautiful.
very funny. Um, anyway, with that out of the way, thank you very much for joining me again, Bex. We'll be back for World's End, where something will happen,
Something will
hopefully. But
happen.
until then, enjoy the C2 season, everyone.
Best time of it.
Best time of the year. Nothing else important at the end of the year, just the C2.
Just the
Bye
seated.
bye.